almost extorted from her, that she had no choice but to try to find a different location to place her establishment. Now, this is an establishment that has been there for 10 years, that she and her family, and members of her family are here today, tonight, and it served the family very well, even with the exorbitant demands from her landlord. And not being able to finally agree or come to a financial decision with her landlord, she had to find another place. So she voluntarily said, okay, I'm getting out of 271 Lawrence Street, and I'm going to try to find another place. And she found a place at 100 Franklin Street. She moved the equipment, she moved the resources, non-alcoholic, to the premises at 100 Franklin Street, and I think various commissioners had an opportunity to explore the premises at 100 Franklin Street and found no alcohol. She just shut down her operation at 271 Lawrence Street, and reluctantly, and she was going to find a different place. So when she moved all her equipment to 100 Franklin Street, it was not to operate a beer and wine package store, the license to which she was privileged by this board to operate within the city of Lawrence. It was to temporarily relocate her equipment in the attempt to find a suitable place like 100 Franklin Street. She then requested the assistance of the land use planner as to whether or not a liquor license could go into 100 Franklin Street. She received some favorable, some concerns or whatever, but she was told that obviously you'd need relief from the zoning board to be able to relocate your license. But there was never an attempt, nor there was ever a sale at 100 Franklin Street. And whatever happened to motivate the suggestion that she was trying to transfer her liquor license there is without basis. She made no attempt to operate a liquor license at those premises, and she would be desirous of obtaining the appropriate relief to be able to do so, but because of the pressure and intense pressure that was put on her by her landlord, she had no other choice than to try to relocate her business. So what I'm suggesting to you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board, is that this license holder be allowed to continue to hold her license until or unless she is able to relocate her license to another premise. Obviously, the license is valid through December 31st of this year. She would hope to renew it. She is reluctantly without a place to locate it temporarily, but she is going to seek the necessary relief by the appropriate powers to be, by the zoning board and what have you, to try to relocate to 100 Franklin Street. If she is not successful, she will seek another place to relocate this license. And this license has a family history. I mean, this family has a history. I mean, the license has never had a violation. It's been, you know, it's been conforming to all the rules and regulations that this board and the Alcoholic Beverage Control Commission directs. And because this woman was forced out, this young lady, I should say, was forced out of her premises at 271 Lawrence Street, should not in any way suggest that she is aborting her license or giving up her license. She wants an opportunity to relocate reluctantly because of the circumstances with her landlord. And I would be prepared to answer any questions that the board may have of me, but I would also ask you to give my client the opportunity of a young lady who's very articulate, very well educated, very well business-wise, to make a statement to the board. Any questions of me, Mr. Chairman, or members of the board?
I just want to say that I did inspect 100 Franklin Street. There was no alcohol there. She has been very cooperative, and we would like to hear, what she has to say.
Is that the corner of Tremont and Franklin?
Right in front of Sycamore Village, those apartments right there.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, the little strip mall.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can,
Like to make a statement, ma'am?
She would.
you can come up.
Ladies and gentlemen, and ladies, this is Janet Minaya.
Good evening. My name is Janet Minaya. I'm 32 years old. Excuse me. I'm a single mother of two beautiful little girls.
Just relax, just relax.
Okay.
You
I was
decide.
born in Lynn,
This
Massachusetts.
board isn't as intimidating as it looks.
I was born in Lynn, Massachusetts, raised in a family environment. My father passed away in 2003. Has always been a businessman. He started with a grocery store in downtown Lynn in 1993. I was 12 years old then and always worked with my parents. That's how I learned about grocery stores. In the year 2000, my parents moved to Lawrence. I was 17 years old, and they bought a store on Hampshire Street called Stop One Supermarket. Back then, I realized this is what I like to do. And in 2005, me and my brother decided to manage Constanza Market on 271 Lawrence Street, while my mom operated Stop One Supermarket. I worked with my brother Andy for 10 years at Constanza Market. But of course, in those 10 years, a lot of things happened. The business was successful in every way. I never had a problem with the city of Lawrence. Neither me or my employees never violated the B&Y license, and still managed to do so. I served the community with respect and honesty. In fact, when the Lawrence police would have a problem to solve on the street, we had cameras, and they would come by to use those videos for whatever reason to help the crime scenes or anything that people needed, etc. But when the lease expired in 2010, the landlord didn't want to renew the lease unless we paid him $100,000 under the table. We didn't understand how he could do this to us, manipulated me mentally with this idea of his. If we were paying him the rent, why did we have to do this? So we ended up giving him $70,000 for 2 years only. And from $1,700, he raised the rent to $2,500. And when those 2 years expired, he asked me for more money, this time $50,000 for 1 year lease, and raised the rent to $2,800. When that lease expired, he asked for $25,000 for 2 years and $2,800 for the rent. And he never in those 10 years fixed anything, but recently, on summer of this year, the roof only. And now that my lease was going to expire again on March of 2016, he confronted me on time, telling me to give him $100,000 for a 10-year lease and raising the rent to $3,000 a month. It's unfair, it's sick, it's sad, it's illegal, it's disturbing to go through this every time my lease will expire. Not only that, but he never gave me a receipt of the rent, so I always paid in cash. And I said no more abuse. All of my savings of me and my brother have been gone because of this. So he told me when he gets back from Dominican Republic, not to find him there, not to find me there. It was so little time to find a location and move out, so much equipment, merchandise, just everything, including a 14-door walk-in fridge that I have. And I ended up finding the location on Franklin Street. Before I started to move out, I asked Daniel McCarthy if I can transfer my license there. He said it's a red zone in the map, which means it's commercial zone. Yeah, I would just have a variance because of the 2 liquor stores located on Broadway Street. But if there's 1,000 feet away, I shouldn't have a problem. So I started rushing, moving everything to this location. But I never intended to leave. I was forced, manipulated to leave if I didn't get $100,000 in the landlord's pocket. And today he's put in a grocery store with the B&Y license I have. So then he can sell the business to someone else. Me and my brother Andy have treasured this license for many years. I would not be here fighting today if I didn't care. And I just want the word to be spread of the abuse that some people just go through. So please give me a chance to get my license back and keep working with my family in this location, and I will cherish the license, so thank you.
Can I ask you just a couple of questions? I just want to make sure I get these figures right. He was asking for $100,000 cash under the table for how long of a year, a 10-year lease?
Yep.
Then what did he, I missed some of the numbers.
In addition to the monthly rent
Yeah.
of $3,000.
Right.
And that was the most recent request.
He-
Prior to that,
What else was he asking for cash?
$100,000 the first time when my lease expired.
Right.
We negotiated $70,000, and then $50,000, then $25,000, and now he wanted $100,000
That was on top of the rent?
on top of the rent every
You
month.
paid it in cash to him?
Cash, there was no way to show proof because he would not let me get a receipt. I would go to his store and give
To
it to
me, there's a
him.
lot of tax implications involved, and
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, that's,
So you have given him money before, you're saying?
I would get loans.
But you did give him some of that money?
Yeah, I gave him
Would you-
$70,000.
Would you go through how much cash you gave to that landlord?
Yeah.
3 times. How many?
Yeah.
First time you gave him how much?
70,
yep,
50, 25.
okay.
now, did you deduct it off your business tax return or anything like that?
Yeah, I have a loan that I would get this money and I will report it.
Ms. Minaya, when you initially gave the payment of $70,000 in cash, how long was that lease for?
The lease for 75,000, the 70,000 was for 2 years.
For 2 years, and then the 50,000.
1 year for
50,000 was 1 year, and then the 25 was for 1 year.
For 2 years. And then 100,000 he wanted now, but I said, I'm done.
And those are successively backwards. First was the 25.
I'm going to have to, Attorney Kelly, if it's all right with you, I'd like to talk to your client right after this meeting. I got a strange feeling we may have to do something with from the Lawrence Police Department.
Lieutenant Conway, she's very prepared to make this statement. I had an opportunity to sit down with my client for a long time before this presentation was made tonight. I explained to her that, in fact, I believed that the landlord in question was going to be on tonight's agenda to acquire a license at the same premises.
Right.
And I suggested to her that she have some family members come with her, and she has family members here tonight accompanying her for sometimes obvious reasons. And she's fully prepared to cooperate in any endeavor. There's no question.
Sure.
But what we're suggesting is that she not be deprived of the license that is issued to 271 Lawrence Street until she has an opportunity
I
to
understand.
seek
I certainly
appropriate
understand that.
redress.
I certainly understand that.
So Director Ruiz, at this point, what options does Ms. Minaya have in order to try and transfer the license?
She would just have to reapply, and just get all your paperwork back in order.
Well,
And,
renew, no?
yeah,
Her license is good until the end of this year.
So she has to go for a renewal.
And her license is still active,
Yes, and
correct?
she needs to come in and renew it, and we will hold it after December.
Okay.
But she needs to come in and renew.
yeah, the first thing she would need to do is go to zoning and get that
Right,
variance.
Exactly.
Mr.
And once-
McCarty is here.
Yeah,
We're
Mr.
suggesting there's no basis to suspend her license.
Oh, no, we're not gonna, yeah,
at
well,
this-
it's up to
at
the
this
board,
time.
but I don't think
You
they're
know,
gonna,
we're suggesting that as a result of an eviction,
Yeah.
albeit an intolerable eviction,
yeah, we would give her the time she needs to
Exactly.
do what she
Exactly.
needs to do to
and she
to
would
get her
intend
license
to
back.
renew her license during November at the, within premises, give her an opportunity to relocate the license.
And Mr. McCarthy is here, if he would like to say something,
The what? Yes,
It's not under the landlord tonight.
oh, certainly.
Daniel McCarthy, I'm the land use planner, and do all the zoning permitting for city at 225 Essex Street. I did meet with Ms. Minaya on a couple occasions. I provided all the applications and the instructions on how to get on the agenda, and informed her, and my understanding is that she's scheduled to be on the next agenda, which will probably be during the holidays, towards the end of November, early December. So, And I did inform her that if everything the way it looks now for that location, I can't see any reason why the zoning board would deny her the special permit.
Now, I have a question for you,
Yes.
Mr. McCarty.
Certainly.
Was there a zoning issue previously with that license? Or is
With,
that where she used to
At
be?
the Costanza Market, no. That's that's located in a B2 business district.
Okay.
And Ms. Manaya, are you prepared to attend that meeting for the zoning board?
So I'm gonna ask Lieutenant Conway, see if he has a recommendation for us.
I would say we pull the license in abeyance for this woman. She's got an active license. She's actively seeking. Land use plan is telling us shouldn't be a problem, just transferring the license from one address to another, pending all the proper paperwork. Why don't we just hold it for her? I think that's the right thing to do. The license is still in good standing. She could renew it, and then we'll just have to reissue a second one.
Our request would be that you take no action.
Right.
Because there's no action
Right,
to be taken.
right.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we take no action on the Manaya Enterprises license.
I second.
So there's a motion on the floor, and it's been seconded to take no action on the license for 271, 275 Lawrence Street from Janet Manaya. All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Thank you very much,
Also-
gentlemen.
Also, too, just make sure you talk to Pat so you could, start renewing your paperwork
Yeah.
Yeah,
for next year.
The
absolutely.
renewal's
Talk
up,
to you
so
right
make
outside in a
sure,
second.
Thank you very much.
okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
I'm gonna have to step away.
Yes, sir. Go ahead. The next item on the agenda was Bali's, and the lawyer told to be called and during the week and access to table it to December 16th. So that item has been tabled to December 16th. The next item on the agenda is Multiple Services LLC. Giovanni Gomez, manager, 349 Lawrence Street, Wynant, make sure. There's been a cease and desist order issued by the Lawrence Professional Services. The order was served upon establishment on 10/31 by Director Pascual Ruiz.
Good evening again, gentlemen and ladies. My name is Robert Kelly. I'm an attorney with offices at 130 Parker Street in Lawrence. I represent Giovanni Gomez regarding Multiple Services LLC at 349 Lawrence Street. My client was before this board on May 9th, 2012, and where she applied for the beer and wine package store license at the given premises. At the hearing, it was subject to a previous advertisement in the local paper, a previous sign-off from the Zoning Board of Appeals. This hearing was held in these chambers, and the board sitting at that time granted the license for the beer and wine package store on May 9th, 2012, roughly 3.5 years ago. And since that time, my client has prided herself on the operation of the premises at 349 Lawrence Street. She has been without any citations. She has been without any inspectional services criticisms. She has conducted the business in an orderly fashion, as she's directed to do by this board, by the privilege of holding this license. And come to find out, on October 23rd, she was served with a notice to cease and desist because the matter did not conform to zoning. I found it very troubling. I researched the records. I found that it was approved by zoning back in May 9, 2012. Whether or not that was a mistake, I don't know. But what we're facing with a situation today that Giovanni Gomez, obviously with child, This has been her main support of her family for the last 3.5 years, and she's done a great job at it. She's done a great job for her and her family, who assist her in operating the business. You know, at this corner, the building that she occupies is contiguous to a barber shop. It is across the street from a large business venture. On the left-hand side is a gas station. I believe it's in an R4 district. And we're told now that we need zoning relief to get appropriate approvals to remain in business. And the zoning board, for whatever reason, and I have my thoughts, but I don't know where this came out of the blue. I don't know. How can a woman be in business for 3.5 years without a violation, without any problems whatsoever? Now, somebody in the woodwork, if you would, says that this is not in compliance. Not in compliance? What do you mean? She did everything she had to do to get the license. And did she do everything she had to do after she got the license? Yes, she did. What we're suggesting, based on my research, is that we need some relief from the zoning board. We need to appeal. We need to do a number of different things and ors. We need to appeal the decision of this Lawrence Hester, who identifies himself as a, what does he identify himself as? He identifies himself as a, I forgot to put my glasses on, as a zoning enforcement official. Now, I don't know who this zoning official, I know who Larry Hester is, but I mean, I don't know how this zoning official can come walking into a premises that's duly licensed, not licensed by the zoning board, licensed by you people, and say, hey, cease and desist. You cannot do this any longer. Has anybody heard of due process? Has anybody heard of giving a person a hearing, an opportunity to be heard on the pluses and minuses, who's right, who's wrong? I mean, this is what our government is based on, due process. You can't just walk in with a hearing officer's letter and say, you're done. I don't care what you've done for the last 3.5 years. You're done. You're out of business. What do you mean I'm out of business? So I've explored the situation with various research, and I've talked to individuals in the inspectional services and building commissioner's offices and zoning commissioner's office. And what I'm asking you to do is something similar to what I asked in the last application, is for you to take no action. This person, this liquor license holder, has done nothing to offend your board. Nothing. She's done everything that this board required. Now, if there's some technicality in the application process that proper relief wasn't granted or obtained or sought, then give us the opportunity to do just that. Seek it, obtain it, if we can, and I think it can be obtained, given the character of the neighborhood that I perused this afternoon. And I'm asking this board to take no action. And if the board takes no action, I will seek relief from the zoning administrator to temporarily relieve the cease and desist order and allow us to seek relief as directed by the powers that be that we need 3.5 years after we thought we had it to get the relief we need. So I'm asking this board to say, you're right, the zoning board can't revoke a liquor license. They can tell you this and they can tell you that, but they can't revoke a liquor license. Only you people can do that. So the zoning board has taken some stance, and what I'm asking you people to do is to take no position in favor or against this license holder, because this license holder has done nothing.
Councilor Kelly, have you already spoken with the zoning board office?
I have spoken with the zoning administrator, and we plan to take this up as an emergency item on the next meeting of the zoning board. And the zoning commissioner has indicated to me that he would consider this board's action tonight in determining whether the cease and desist order will continue.
Did you say, excuse me, Attorney Kelly, did you say that you found in the book where it was approved?
Yes, I did.
Do you have a copy of that?
I do.
I'd like to see that if I could, please.
This, Mr. Chairman and members of the board, is in your, excuse me, is in your file. May I approach?
You do? Well, I think it's easier for him to show it to us than to go through. There it is. There it is, Pat.
But that's not from zoning, though. That's not from zoning. I would like for Dan McCarthy to come up and state the reasons why.
Sure, okay, just have a seat there. I shared that with Mr. McCarthy.
What's that?
I shared that with Mr. McCarthy.
Oh.
It's a sign off by Peter, that's it, that's not
Oh,
a
so
zoning.
this isn't a zoning.
Not a zoning,
I think he has some paperwork with it.
yeah.
Building inspector was the zoning commission. 2012.
Oh, Peter Blanchett.
Yeah, but that's just an inspection form, not a zoning
Yeah,
decision.
but he's saying that the
not a
zoning
zoning
officer
decision.
was Peter Blanchett.
Well, Peter Blanchett is a zoning officer as a building inspector.
But this was just,
That's just a
this is just a
a
checkoff.
checkoff list, that's all that
saying
is,
that
that
they
doesn't
were,
mean anything.
that the building was okay.
Yeah,
Right.
No, absolutely not.
that's just a checklist.
The building inspector signs off whether it's appropriately
Yeah,
zoned
yeah,
for the license application. We all know that.
yeah. Well, I would like to hear Dan McCarthy's explanation.
Well, I'd like to hear his explanation first. What was that, Attorney Kelly, that you're saying about this form?
I mean,
I'm new at this, so I want to,
by mistake or whatever, I mean, obviously, he's the zoning commission.
Yeah,
so
but-
you're saying by him, excuse me, Mr. Ruiz. So you're telling me from your experience that this paper is something that is signed by the zoning commissioner? That's correct. Saying that everything is approved for that business to open? From your experience?
So in other words, he shouldn't have signed off.
But he did. It's irrelevant if he should have,
Oh, no,
could
I-
have, but it's signed.
Maybe Danny can.
All this is,
Danny, we'll let Danny speak
Okay.
now. So what's your,
Good evening, Dan McCarthy. I'm the land use planner, and I'd received a correspondence yesterday asking me to attend to today's evening's meeting, and I was asked to compile some records, to look through my files on anything pertaining to to the ordinances involved in this case, and any permits or licenses that may have been issued for this property, and another one on the street, so that's 8 copies.
of what?
So what?
So that's a copy of what,
So
sir?
what you're getting is a copy of the zoning ordinance table showing what the uses are and where the district is.
So do we have
on
anything
page
on
two.
that particular issue at the
It's on
time it was
here.
present?
The zoning board has never addressed any issues involving this property.
Okay,
So this property's never been before the board.
can you explain to me, because I'm new at this,
Mm-hmm.
the process, when somebody comes into City Hall
Yep.
and they come in to ask for a liquor license, what is the process once they walk into City Hall?
The first step would be to go to the building commissioner,
Okay,
who makes a zoning determination on whether or not any special license or variance is required prior to getting a zoning
Okay.
ordinance. And one of the requirements is to check what district, what zoning district the property is located in. And there are several, I think there's 2 districts in the city where alcohol is permitted by right. That's the B1 and B2 business districts.
Okay.
And then there's 2 other districts where it's allowed by special permit. That's in one of the industrials and in the B3, which is downtown. So there's 4 districts where you can have a liquor permit. The other question that comes up is you can't be within 1,000 feet of another liquor use without getting a variance, and that's citywide. So.
I'm aware of that.
So that would be the other issue that come before us.
Okay, so I just want to understand a little bit about the zoning. I did my homework. I took a drive down there. And where this place is, okay, within 3 blocks is another establishment that has a beer and wine that was actually here today, which is 271, 275 Lawrence Street,
That's correct.
okay? That's within 2 blocks of this lady, young
It's actually
lady.
closer, the Arlington Club, which is probably about 300 feet away, has another
Okay,
license.
so they have a license. Across the street directly from her, as far as I can remember, there was a wine and beer years ago, before they
That
were there.
building, that building at one time was demolished and stayed
Okay,
demolished.
but that
once we
was, you guys approved that for beer and wine.
Approved the reconstruction of the building. I have that decision in that package. and it
But they
says-
had a beer and wine prior
The decision says directly in it that there's to be no liquor, no alcohol.
to the remodeling.
There was beer and
I
wine,
remember there was a beer and wine there.
correct. All those
And she's
decisions are here.
exactly 20 feet across from that,
Correct.
okay? And then as you continue on her side, there's actually, I counted 6 establishments with beer and wine and a couple all alcohol on her side of the street. So I'm just trying to understand zoning. So in zoning, 2 houses can be in one zone? Or
Correct.
2 buildings, and then the next one can be out of that zone
Correct.
and across the street also?
Correct.
Okay.
But I gave you,
I just want to understand
right,
that.
there's a zoning map in there showing where the properties are located. So that'll help align yourself with where the nearest business district is about 3 blocks away.
After a public hearing, amend the zoning running, granted the West special permit variances for this address. Subject condition including no liquor sales.
Who's that for?
That was for this. That's for,
Who's,
338 Street.
and who is that? Is that her property?
Close to it.
She's at 349. Yeah, but then you go to 272 and they have permission. You see what I'm saying? So in other words, I'm just trying to follow, I mean, I'm trying to follow because I understand this lady has a business. She's been there for 3 years.
Yep.
She has a family, she has children.
Correct.
And I don't see why something that happened 3 years ago, all of a sudden today is an issue. Okay? That's why I'm asking questions. My thing is why did she keep on getting renewed if this was an issue? Why is this come up in front of this board today all of a sudden? Because she's renewed that license 3 times. Okay, and it's never been an issue. Okay? The fact that, why didn't it go to zoning in 2012? You know, if I go somewhere and I fill out an application and I say, listen, I want to open a store, the way I see it is, it's that person's responsibility to tell me what to do to be able to open that store. You know, and I'm just trying to figure out, all of a sudden, this is coming in front of this board when this young lady has had a business for 3 years.
I don't know why.
Well,
Yeah,
what happened was, it was brought to the attention of inspectional services, and we have to follow up, you know, when someone files a complaint or, we.
So randomly, somebody called and brought it up to,
Yeah, you know,
Okay.
so so we have to, my duty is to follow up.
oh, no, I understand,
So,
I understand exactly
I
what you did.
followed up, this is what I found,
was-
so it's up to the board now to make a decision. But
Right.
this is
No,
what
no, I
found out.
understand exactly what you did. I understand that part.
And Mr. McCarthy,
I'm
what's...
just trying to clear
yeah.
up, you know, where,
At this point, what does the business owner have as options with regards to the appeal process?
They can appeal the decision of the board, of the commissioner's office, and at the same time, what they're going to require is a special permit and a variance from the 1,000-foot setback. So all 3 can be done through the same process of an appeal.
And so Counselor Kelly, before, indicated that he had already been in touch with the office, and that,
Well, I spoke to him this evening. I wasn't aware of that. Our next meeting's tomorrow
he
night, so
spoke to the
he's not on the
administrator.
agenda.
okay.
So,
office.
just for the record, what Mr. Attorney Kelly was referring to, it's an application for license or permit. It's not a zoning decision, what Peter Blanchett signed.
okay. Well, that's an issue I think that this is, something that we really don't understand what
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is.
Well, that's-
Myself
that's-
personally, I don't understand if that's what they
Well,
signed.
that's
I've never
what
seen
I'm,
that paperwork.
that's what I'm,
But I
That's what he's
understand what you're
explaining.
saying.
I just want to explain.
I remember the vote when it was taken back in
Yeah, you were
2012.
here.
I was here.
Yes.
I don't ever remember zoning coming up.
Well,
Yeah,
So,
The form that was submitted,
yeah,
it's the form that has to be checked off by each department.
yeah. It was only checked off by the building inspector.
Who's the zoning commissioner?
Yeah, he's a zoning commissioner, but this is not a zoning decision. No, it's not. It comes from, Dan McCarthy's, office.
You gotta be kidding.
Yeah, everything comes through him first.
Wait a minute, have you speakers, please use the podium mic, thank you.
The microphone.
Have you ever signed an application for a liquor license?
Not an
That-
application,
that's-
but we send everybody to zoning to make sure
And who signs off on it but the zoning commissioner?
the zoning. Yeah,
You
after
ever
he
signed off
okays
on
it.
an application?
After he okays it.
He's never signed off on an
Under
application.
the state law, the building commissioner makes the initial decision toward zoning.
Yeah.
And then if it requires special relief, it goes to the zoning board of
Yeah.
appeals, and that would issue
Yeah.
a decision.
Yeah.
The zoning commissioner who signed off on that.
Yeah, but this is not a zoning decision right here.
It's not a zoning decision.
It's an
It
application
was
for license or
approved.
permit.
What?
It's an application for license or permit. That's all that is right there, that form.
No, it says
Yeah.
that it conforms to the zoning.
Where does it say that right there? Read it. Where does it say that?
Would you explain that again?
Where does it say, no, look at the application. Where does it say that?
Look,
I'm asking you, where does it say that? It's an application for license or permit. Where does it say
That's right.
it's a zoning, issue? All you have is Peter Blanchett's signature on there. That's it. That's all you
who
have.
happened to be the zoning
Yeah,
commissioner.
Yeah.
So excuse me, I guess that's something that, I don't know the process.
Maybe you should
He
change
knows-
your application, because every application has to go through the zone, has to be checked off by the zoning
Yeah.
commissioner.
Well, he signed it in error then. Okay?
That may be
All right.
correct.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
Councilor
then.
Kelly, I'm
So
sorry,
just because
if
it's an
I
error,
could-
it doesn't have to be continued to be an error.
if I could
Okay.
get back with
Right.
Mr. McCarthy.
I don't mean to be argumentative.
Oh, I'm just saying, I'm just stating the facts.
What?
That's all.
What fact?
Yeah, the facts that I just stated.
What?
That's it.
Mr. McCarthy, excuse me, Councilor Kelly.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Mr. McCarthy, is there precedence? Has this ever occurred? I mean, it's possible that, maybe.
If that something was signed in error, yeah, that
Yes.
happens. That does
And
occur.
so, in the past, what has the process been?
We've allowed people that have put up signs without permits or done other things without permits to come before us and ask for relief post-action. So that's been done in the past.
And so you said your next meeting is tomorrow.
Next meeting's tomorrow, that's
Okay,
right.
and so it's too late to get on the agenda for tomorrow, is that correct? Your next meeting after that, you indicated before was in the holiday season?
We're going to take a vote tomorrow evening because of the holidays.
Yes.
So when that meeting is going to, it'll probably be the first week of December.
Okay, all right. In the meantime, when something has been signed in error, has a business previously been allowed, for all intents and purposes, an abeyance in order to continue operating the business until a decision has been reached?
I can't recall a specific, when it comes to a use, and typically it's done, somebody's constructed something in error.
Okay.
And we let it stay until the decision is done.
Okay.
So, I mean, we gotta vote
Whatever
on
the recommendation of the board, that's what we'll go with.
Yeah. Do you have anything to say, Lieutenant Conway? or-
No, I
Oh,
don't.
you,
I
Lieutenant.
remember in 2012, I read the notes that Pat had left us on the hearing, myself and Councilor Fielding and Commissioner Lantigua, but zoning had never come up. And we looked at it, well, the only person that did come up and complain was a guy that was running around with a pocket license, and we dealt with him very quickly.
Sure.
And we issued the license.
Well, at this point, given that it appears to be a clerical error and things need to be cleared up with regards to the paperwork, I'd make a motion to simply table the matter until the establishment owner has an opportunity to go before the zoning board in order to request a variance or whatever it is that she may need in order to move forward.
But wouldn't we have to remove this?
Yeah, you can't table it.
Commissioner Hernandez, if I could
You can't
suggest,
table it.
if the board shows, based on the evidence presented to it, that it had not the licensee had not violated any of the rules and regulations of the Lawrence Licensing Commission. If the board would choose to take no action, that will allow us to pursue other remedies before other boards and the Building and Zoning Commission.
It's, as far as I understand, on our part, we're more interested in the license itself, okay? What the city decides to do with everything else is really relevant to us. Our issue is the license, okay? So, you have any,
So you would have no problem removing the cease and desist order
I
if we,
think that it's not our job to remove the cease and desist. I feel like our job is the license itself.
Commissioner
city-
Martin, you're right, but if you were to take no action, then I can pursue a request before the zoning.
That's correct. So that's
to
another issue
remove
as
the
far as
cease
I'm
and desist
concerned.
order.
Yeah,
If the city has a seasonal risk, that's something they have to deal with the city.
Yeah,
They
and-
have to, so in other words, our thing is the license. Do we take away the license, or we let them have the opportunity to
Right.
go to get a variance?
okay, I'll make a motion that we take no action on Multiple Services LLC.
And we're gonna take a vote on it?
Well, I would like to say something, on the condition that it go in front of zoning.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
I'll add that.
So we'll make
to
that
the-
amendment, Pat.
Okay.
On the condition it goes to zoning.
Second.
So there's a motion on the floor, and it's been seconded to take no action on multiple services liquor license. I'm gonna take a actual vote. Commissioner Jorge,
Aye.
Commissioner Ron Martin,
Aye.
myself, aye. The ayes have it. Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. Thank you, Mr. McCarthy.
You're welcome. Okay, the next item on the agenda is Atlantico Restaurant. It's 170 South Union Street.
Hi, you remember me. My name, Tolentino. My name is Robert Kelly. I represent the license holder, Tolentino Alamanza, for premises located at 170 South Union Street. If I can give you a little history, gentlemen and ladies, this license was approved as a sole proprietorship on January 22nd of this year. The license was held up until an inspection could take place on April 22nd of this year. And after an opportunity for Mr. Almanza to get the place ready, his wife suffered a serious motor vehicle accident. And it disrupted the whole family in the spring of this year. And Mr. Tolentino, knowing it was a sole proprietorship and didn't want any absentee ownership or absentee management, had some divided loyalties. He had a loyalty to his wife and family, and he also recognized that the summer months of June, July, and August weren't the best times for a restaurant on South Union Street. He is now open for business. He operates principally Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 4 p.m. until closing time. He's had a new chef who just got a food license permit at City Hall, and he's spending a good degree of time at the premises himself. There was never an attempt, if you will, to pocket a license. He wants to make a livelihood to supplement his other income, and he wants his family to help him out. And his father-in-law owns the building. And Arturo Tavares, who's here tonight, and it was a considered decision that in the interest of what was best for the family, come on up, Arturo, yeah. And to hold off until the fall. We were a bit chagrined to find the notice from your board, which has a meticulous scrutiny of all license holders, and for that you should be congratulated. But it was never our attempt to hold a license and not operate. I mean, Atlantico, I was in there Friday night, and I can't say the crowd was great, but the music was loud. And, but their food, I'm told the delicacies that they're going to be providing will be second to none. So I'm anxious to partake of their gourmet menu. But I trust a suggestion of the operation, at least on the four days, the principal operations of a restaurant. And if you were to visit the premises on South Union Street, you'd be fairly impressed with the quality of the interior, the tables, the chairs. There's a full bar there now, and we're trying to engender more of a kind of an eating type atmosphere than just a drinking type atmosphere, but we're amenable to both. And I'm open to any questions you may have.
So is he opening soon?
He's open. He's open now.
Oh, he's open now?
The
Oh,
owner of the
okay.
building, this is his son-in-law, father-in-law.
Okay, that was
It's a
one of the
big family
reasons-
operation.
What was the date of the opening?
The opening occurred only at, coincidentally or ironically or whatever, since your letter was received by us.
So it is
And-
open now?
Yeah,
He's
so-
open for
Well,
business.
that was
Yeah,
one of
so-
our concerns.
Well, what happened was it was closed for a while. We inquired why it was closed. Mr. Tavares did come by, he explained why. We hadn't heard, why it was closed. We don't want nobody having a pocket license. So finally, he came in, he did everything he had to do, and he's open now.
Okay.
And I'm happy with that.
And we're very happy with that.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we take no action on the Atlantico Restaurant at 170 South Union Street.
Second?
There's a motion on the floor and it's been seconded to take no action on the Atlantico Restaurant. All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes
Thank you
have
very
it.
much, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. This is the first licensing board meeting I think I'm leaving where no action's been taken on my cases, and I'm very grateful.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You as well.
Okay, next item on the agenda is gonna be, taxi. Is a complaint from the City of Lawrence, Hackney unit on Diamond Taxi.
Jose's here.
Jose Flores is here from the Lawrence Police Department. Is anybody here from Diamond Taxi?
He's here.
Will you come up, please? Mr. Flores?
Good evening. Officer Jose Flores, Lawrence Police Hackney Unit. I'm here before you on licensed medical transport group DBA Diamond, which is our license page on Book 51, page 475. This Diamond is no longer in the city. It used to be a livery company in the city of Lawrence. They no longer hold a license with the Hackney unit. They moved approximately maybe 2 years ago to Tewksbury, and their address is actually 1501 Main Street, Union 38, Tewksbury, Mass. I'm here before you because this license is still active at 333 Methuen Street, which is a building owned by Leonard Belmore. Now, the problems that I've been having is that I go around there, and they've had operators, their livery operators, park in front of the building, taking their breaks. I've actually stopped and had a conversation with one of his drivers, Willem J. Mitchell, who was in livery 69068. And I asked him, what are you doing here? He goes, I'm just taking my break here because this is still our building here. Unknown to him that it's not licensed anymore with the Hackney unit. The problem we've been having is livery companies coming into the city, outside livery companies coming into the city. do their drop-off, pick-up, and then they just want to hang out in the city. Under city ordinance, the authorization, 5.48930, gives a right to any taxi company, livery company, to come into the city, pick up, drop off, then leave the city, not stay in the city. So I believe that their operators believe that they think their base of operation is still at 333 Methuen Street. The other incident that I came across was overnight parking of Diamond Livery at that location, which were two vehicles, livery 71318 and livery 66757. Overnight parking with this company is not, should not be allowed, only under section 93.5, which states any vehicle garage in the city should be registered in the city. For this, I am here before you to revoke license, Medical Transportation Group, DBA Diamond.
I just want to say at the request of Officer Flores, Building Inspector Jose Negron, myself, we inspected that property at 333 Methuen Street. The doors were wide open. We looked inside. There was a couple of vehicles parked in there.
What kind of vehicles?
They were like taxi, you could tell they were livery. Also, we noticed that there was it looked like it was like a bedroom, illegal bedroom in the back, on the left-hand side when you're looking straight in. Okay. Someone's probably sleeping there or something, I believe.
Okay, do you have anything to say?
Good evening. My name is Leonard Belmore, and I've owned that building a long time. I've worked in the city for 31 years, a lot of hours. All I can say is, you see, I don't quite get, is he complaining that my two, if he looks good and shows you the picture of that, of my two vehicles outside, where Ronnie, which is the guy across the street who works on my cars, he rents that. That's not my garage. That's not my parking lot. The only thing I have is place for 10 vehicles inside. William Mitchell is my brother-in-law. I've been in the city for 32 or 33 years. We got out of here when there was a mass of taxis. So we just went into doing contract work, mostly. We don't want to run around and do taxi work. There's about 80 cars on Chestnut Street every day waiting. Well, I don't want my guys to wait around. And as far as, I've owned the garage back in the 90s, and that wasn't, I never even saw this issue about, see, I thought he was saying that we were operating. He's not. He's really saying that I'm using the garage, which obviously I thought I could, because I know back in the 90s, they never complained about me using it. It was better than having them sit around these corners all over the place. So that's my whole thing. I don't know what else to tell you. I did, however, 3 weeks ago, when someone asked me, one of the drivers said, hey, there's a cop, I think he's really a policeman, driving around in a black car, asked me a question. And I said, well, who could that be? And then they told, so anyway, I asked around, and it's this officer. So, okay, that's terrific. So 3 weeks ago, almost 4, I remember the day, I called the station and I asked the official to ask him to come by and see Mr. Belmore at 333 Methuen Street. Now, if he thought I was running the business there, which is what it sounds like to me, but maybe not, if he would have come by, he's correct, my door's always open. I would have
I
been
got a
able to
question
take him
for you.
in and see there's not even a telephone in the building.
Where do you run your business out of?
Out of Tewksbury.
Out of Tewksbury?
Yes.
But you never turned in your active Lawrence license, business license?
Of course.
Never turned it in?
Yes, we didn't reapply 2 years ago. There was no, you see, these.
You've been, hold on, you know, and I ran taxis before.
Yes,
and-
I know.
And Jose knows his stuff. He's
Good,
not, he knows what he's doing. So, to me, reading this report from Officer Flores, hearing his testimony, it appears that you're running your livery business out of Tewksbury, but you're actually using Lawrence as the base to store the cars. The cars are being registered, I would imagine,
yes.
in Tewksbury, not in the city.
No,
so
no,
those are
wait,
excise tax.
okay, well,
So, the perception is, you're running the business out of Lawrence, and the belief would be, when Officer Flores is doing his investigation, is that you're running the business out of there. He spoke to you guys, we're parking the cars there, they have beds there, they're resting there. To me, they're in violation of the city ordinance. You're running the business out of there, but using an address in Tewksbury as your base of operations. So, you know, I totally agree with what Officer Flores is doing. I mean, he's got a lot to do. He handles all liveries, all taxis in the city of Lawrence, and he investigates everything, because I know, because I've worked with them, and I've known him for 25 years.
So there is an active, he does have an active
He
license?
still has an active license.
So you can't
I
have
don't
two.
know how that is even possible.
Because you can't have two licenses, one in one city and one in another.
Oh,
right?
yes, you can, yes, you
Jose,
can,
You can?
you can. But what I don't understand,
What I
No, no,
want him to understand
excuse
is that his drivers believe that this is the base of operation, which is not.
oh, well, then they
And-
should look for their
Where would they
change.
get
And
that
the
from?
other thing is the overnight parking.
The overnight parking, yeah.
Okay, when you say wait, because overnight parking, there's nothing wrong with my guy who does my mechanic work, who's across the street, but he has that driveway, he has the lot.
Well, we're talking about overnight parking inside the building.
No, that's not what he's saying.
According to your drivers that I spoke with, they park their vehicles overnight because
Yes,
that's
they
where
do.
they go
There's three of
and
them, yeah.
exchange vehicles.
Yes,
Okay, which is not allowed, the overnight parking.
okay. So that's not overnight parking, that's just garaging. Okay,
They're not allowed to garage.
well, okay, so tomorrow, if I would have known that, I could have gone to the city
But
hall.
on your behalf, I have gone, I've been going by, those vehicles are gone.
They are not, they're there right
Oh,
now.
inside?
Yes.
Okay, I don't look inside, so if they're
It's
inside, they're
outside.
inside. They're not supposed to be garaged in the city.
Right.
But I won't lie to you, no one was ever,
They were being garaged outside, which is,
no, that's the parking lot.
that's the street, and that's the parking lot, the same vehicle.
Oh,
Once I told them about it, they moved it to the parking lot.
Parking lot.
oh.
All right. So,
Go ahead.
make a motion.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we.
And by the way, just so you know, I'm talking to you in retrospect to the building. Because if this is what would happen, if they want me to do this, I can do this tomorrow. I can come and I can ask the city, because it's a garage. It's been a garage. Before I even owned it, I was bringing cars there from my other location in the city, but that's okay.
Well, I want you to understand what they're saying is, do you understand that you cannot have a cab company in Tewksbury?
Livery, not cab.
Okay, you can't have a livery
Right.
company in Tewksbury and house the cars in Lawrence. That's
Okay.
what they just explained.
Right, so,
And also, sir, that your Lawrence license is still active.
can't,
Well, we're gonna take care of that
that's
today.
$11,000, so I didn't pay it. So,
Okay.
you know, I think there's still a lot of, I think they've made a lot of improvements as they have. But the bottom line is, I'm actually right now, I'm actually getting rid of the building. I've got a guy, Roger, that's been down 2 or 3 times in the last 2 weeks.
Roger, who I
Because,
wonder?
You know, I've already, because I got out of Lawrence because there were so many taxis. There's almost 200 taxis in the city.
Okay, based on the recommendation of the police department, I make a motion that we revoke the license of Diamond Taxi.
I second.
So there's a motion on the floor to revoke the license of Diamond Taxi. All in favor?
Aye.
And also no
And
no
we gotta
overnight
understand, you
parking.
Now, one
can't park
question.
down
I
there,
just have a
okay?
question.
Yeah. So,
How can you revoke something that doesn't exist?
Well, it doesn't exist to you, but it exists to the city.
No, it doesn't.
It might be a problem, like you said, sir, but it is there,
I
okay?
just find
just
that
shows as active, so we gotta revoke it. But
Right, it's showing active, so we gotta revoke.
The other thing is you can't park any vehicles inside that building anymore, okay?
Okay, well, I figure 30 days would be fine, right?
It's up to the board, it's up to
Well,
Lieutenant Conway.
You're not supposed to park there, that's all we can tell you. I mean, what you do is up to you, and you have to pay the consequences. But we
If
wanna
there's
thank
a
you for coming down,
consequence,
sir.
Let me ask you this question then. All right, so, see, so tomorrow, I've already got a license to run the garage.
I would speak to Mr. Flores, because he's in charge of that.
Yeah.
After the meeting, if you want, you can speak to Mr. Flores, and he can explain to you, and you can explain to him. Okay? Thank you for coming down, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jose.
So the next item on the agenda is an application for a new wine and malt package store, Lawrence Street Associates, LLC, Hector Polanco, DBA Constanza Market. Is anybody here from,
No.
Lawrence Street Associates? No? So these are the guys that were
yeah.
kicking the lady out.
This is a procedural thing. You
We're over
can't,
here. I went back to where we were. I just wanted to get off of the Flores to get going on. So down on the last one, that gentleman is the one that's applying for the license that we let the lady keep, so.
Yes.
please
what do you-
table it
So it's, the matter's
Table
tabled.
Table it?
indefinitely.
Okay.
And it's big,
So we're gonna table that matter
Indefinitely,
indefinitely. So we should make a vote, no?
yes.
Okay, so you wanna make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we table indefinitely the Lawrence Street Associates.
Second.
So there's a motion on the floor, has been seconded to table the application for wine and malt package store for Lawrence Street Associates. All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Okay, the next item on the agenda is a common victualer's license for the River Cafe, 606 Canal Street.
The owner of the property called in and asked it be continued to another date,
Okay.
maybe in December.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we continue the application for the River Cafe.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor and it's been seconded to continue the victualer's license for the River Cafe, 606 Canal Street. All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. The next item on the agenda is a used car retail for 296 Broadway LLC, formerly,
Dominican Bakery.
oh, I'm sorry, wait a minute,
hold on, sir.
sorry. The next item is Dominican Bakery. It's 260 Hampshire Street. And they're here for a victualer's license? Your name, sir?
My name is Emiliano Rodriguez.
Have you had a bakery somewhere in the city before?
See?
No.
No, he's never had a bakery before?
Oh, no, they have a bakery in Santo Domingo for 25 years.
Oh, okay, they never had one here?
No, that's the first time.
Anybody have any questions? No. Questions?
Okay, I'll make a motion, we approve the common victual license for the Dominican Bakery at 260 Hampshire Street.
Second.
So there's a motion on the floor, and it's been seconded to accept the common victualer's license for Dominican Bakery. All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Thank you very much, man.
Thank you.
See her, she'll give you your.
Come in tomorrow for the
Okay,
license.
now the next
Tomorrow.
item on the agenda is used car retail, 296 Broadway, formerly Eurotech.
You'll be
Rodolfo
good
de
tomorrow.
Jesus, new owner.
Good evening, members on the board.
Good evening.
Where is this place, Pat?
That's 296. We did inspection over there with the industrial accidents. They've cleaned up the area. There was some,
Where's that at?
296 is near where?
296 Broadway
Yeah.
is,
Punto final.
Oh, okay, didn't we just kick somebody out of there?
It's A and B.
Yeah, nobody likes to take their mail there.
Yeah. Yeah, so we inspected that with the Industrial Accidents Board a few months ago. They've cleaned that up since. There's no vehicles there no more, right?
no,
And he shares it, there's another one, 296B on the other side. They've
On
cleaned
the
up.
other complete side or on the
Right,
same
it's-
side
it's
but
attached.
beside it?
It's attached, but
it's attached.
296A has a yard in the back, and there was a lot of vehicles back there. That's been cleaned out. Yeah. So that's
Okay,
all
so
cleaned
what
up.
exactly are you gonna do? Are you just gonna sell cars?
Yes,
Is there a
correct.
garage there to
I
fix
just
cars?
I just bought the property from
He just
my
bought the
friend
building.
Antonio La
Oh,
Rosa,
oh.
and we tried just to start cleaning out the property. We're already cleaning to try to put everything in shape.
What
And-
kind of license was there before, Pat?
The same license.
A used car license?
No, there was no license there, it was
I
illegal.
was gonna say, yeah.
No license there, it was illegal.
Mr. La Rosa.
Yes,
who was
yes,
here
it's-
this
it was a
evening,
license
had
there,
that
all the
license
time.
No, there was an auto body shop that was operating out there.
Oh,
illegal.
the auto body
Gone,
shop
they're
doesn't
gone,
have
yeah,
the
they're
license,
gone,
no,
yeah.
no. That place is
Okay,
empty
so
right now.
right now, was there an existing used car license?
No, there's nothing there now.
You're saying there is?
No.
Yes, it is.
License
The-
was held
the
by
thing is-
Mr. La Rosa.
Yeah.
He was selling cars illegally, and we had to go up there, we were looking for the dealer plates. It was on
Oh.
the left-hand side, that was over the A unit or the B
Yeah,
unit.
yeah, that's,
Yeah,
Is that the
remember?
one that had all the food trucks?
Maybe
in
you
the
were
parking
confused
lot?
because
That's the one.
Okay,
Remember you had
so I've never
salvage
seen
cars.
anybody selling cars before.
No,
I've seen them.
there was
It
a
looked like a
kid.
junkyard, but,
Who'd you buy the property from?
from my friend Antonio, he's here with me.
From Antonio La Rosa. It used to be all Grand Prix imports, if you guys remember.
yeah.
Okay, but who was selling cars down there before they were selling the salvage cars? There was somebody in there.
I
Oh, the-
was selling cars, and I've been selling
When-
cars out of there.
Did you have a problem with the gentleman, I have a complaint out of Methuen.
A wet
gentleman
car.
was sold a wet car,
Yeah.
remember?
that's the same
To a
property.
total of,
Do you have
I think
an
it
old
was,
There was a
license?
guy with a
4,000.
Murphy. It was Murphy.
I've never seen anybody.
Oh, that was Murphy.
That was Murphy, that was Murphy,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's
It's totally
gone.
different.
Oh, wow,
okay.
he's been
He's
gone.
been a victim, he never paid, whatever.
Yeah.
he had
Okay, but it
to
is the same property.
That's the, you
pay.
know
It's a
that
property, I'm
Remember
the
we were
owner
up there?
of the property.
Yes, I remember,
right,
yeah.
right.
I remember the wet car, they came in and the guy charged them all this
Yeah, that was
money.
Murphy, yeah.
And then I
That was
remember we had
Murphy.
the problem with all the junk cars out there.
Yeah,
and-
and
it
that's
was
since
all
been cleaned
salvage.
up.
I just haven't seen cars being sold there for years.
Yeah.
Over
I
there?
haven't seen,
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
seen an auto body shop. I'm just wondering, because you're
Well,
saying.
there's somebody else there, right?
Well, just
Yeah,
wondering-
Sells cars in the
The
front.
thing is, the place is divided by section.
By
It's
the-
a auto body,
Yeah.
the dealer, and the auto repair.
Yeah.
Taco place, a Mexican place. He's been around for 60
You
years.
know who you are, we were
Yeah.
just talking.
We've been around for
You
60
do the high-end
years.
repairs
Yeah.
down in the corner down there.
The
Pocket
Ferraris
control
and the
always
I got
Lamborghinis.
old, I got old.
Like,
Was it in here?
so he's been there for more than 40 years, more?
35.
35.
There's always something in there. Always, they always sold cars.
Yeah, there's an old license here from 2014 for 25 used cars.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what he's looking for now.
All right, okay. Just wanted to verify that, because I haven't, in the last couple of years, nobody's been selling cars there. They've been storing cars there,
Yeah, it
but
was,
not
it was,
selling.
it was an auto
I
body.
retired,
Auto
and
body,
I
yeah.
sell the property, he
Yeah.
bought the property.
Okay.
Yeah, about it.
So,
All right.
that's the situation, I got old.
So you know what's going on, that we want to keep it clean?
Oh, yeah,
You
definitely.
don't want
Yeah.
body parts all over the place?
No, no, there's not such a thing anymore.
It's nothing anymore
And
over
just so you
there.
know, I live right behind there, so I go by there every day, 3-4 times a day, so.
Yeah, yeah, you can stay
So
by.
we spoke,
Okay,
and
good.
I explained to him exactly what we're looking for. No junk cars at all. It's not, there's no junk dealers allowed in Lawrence. He knows that. He has to maintain the property clean. We'll be inspecting more regularly now.
Congratulations on
correct.
buying the property, by the
Thank
way.
Now,
you.
quick
Thank you so
question.
much. I
So
appreciate it.
the last license that's on file is from 2014?
Yes.
So there was nothing for the 2015?
No, there was somebody there as a body
They
shop,
were running illegally.
but it was illegally, they didn't have any permits, and we threw them out, we had
We
them,
throw away the guy
had them
already.
moved.
The guy was,
Once we told the owner what was going on,
Yeah.
he evicted him.
Yeah, and they removed about 30
He's
cars
the
out of there.
old owner and he's the new owner.
Yeah,
and
but they cleaned it up. And there was a big oil spill, they cleaned all that up also. We called
right.
DEP. They
Good.
cleaned it all up.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the application for used car dealership at 296 Broadway.
Second.
So there's a motion on the floor and it's been seconded to approve the used car retail to, Mr. Antonio La Rosa.
No, he's gonna be to me.
Rodolfo de Jesus.
He's gonna be retired.
Rodolfo de Jesus. All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Thank you, members of the board.
thank you, gentlemen. Have a nice evening.
Thank you,
You're
you as well.
welcome. You too. Okay, the next item on the agenda is Carlos Peña, DBA Bertunio Auto Sales, 191 Broadway, Lawrence. Mr. Peña's license was revoked for 2 months ago by Director Patrick Woods because Mr. Peña failed to respond 3 certified mailings from the office regarding a violation. Mr. Peña is now requesting that his license be reinstated. We're gonna have Mr. Ruiz.
Yeah, I spoke to Mr. Peña. I drove by there tonight. I inspected the premises. They do have what's required, so I'm in favor of reactivating his license if the board desires.
So his violation last time was a problem we've been having with no hours.
Yes, yes, and
so
he's since
forth.
fixed that.
So it's
There's
been
signage on the
corrected.
window, and there's an office there. I seen it.
So you're aware of the new regulations now, where somebody has to be there if you have post hours, does he understand that?
Que él dice que él fue inspeccionó la promesa y que todo está bien, que lo que él nos dijo a nosotros que arregláramos, lo arreglamos. Él te está diciendo que tú sabes que tiene que tener alguien ahí en la hora de trabajo y sabe lo que tiene que hacer de ahora en adelante.
So basically, all he has to do is say that he opens Wednesday, 10 to 12. And there has to be somebody there, whatever hours he says that the office is open. You know, he gets to dictate the hours.
Okay.
You know, it's not like he's gotta put Monday through Friday, he can put Wednesday, Friday, okay?
Okay. Entiendo.
But somebody has to be there.
So alguien tiene que estar ahí. La hora que tú pongas, alguien tiene que estar ahí. Okay.
Okay, anybody have any questions?
Okay, I'll make a motion that we reinstate the license for Carlos Peña doing business at Bertino Auto Sales.
A second.
There's been a motion on the floor and it's been seconded to reinstate the used car office space only to Carlos de Peña. All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Come tomorrow. Come tomorrow by noon.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
There's a motion on the floor, we adjourn,
Second.
and it's been seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Meeting adjourned. Hey, we're gonna meet in-